Any statement about your team's performance today?
Sure. Well, thank you guys for being here. It was a tremendous football game. I thought played both sides of the football, both the Georgia Tech and the Citadel side. It was an outstanding effort. Certainly was a lot of fun out there. We had many opportunities out there to be able to stay close to the game, and I thought that was important for us. We played excellent on defense. I thought our special teams let us down a little bit, and gave them a couple of short yard situations for them. And unfortunately, they were able to get a couple quick scores off of those. But other than that, I thought we played outstanding offensively and defensively. We controlled the ball. It was almost 41 minutes of possession time. We had over 300 yards of rushing, which I think is a recipe for us in the triple option to be able to win football games and win football games like that. Certainly a win like this will certainly help us in a lot of different ways. It'll help us in fundraising. It'll help us in scholarship fundraising and things that we really need in our football program. So that's why we like to play these games, because we do have an opportunity and we do have a chance. Overall, it was an outstanding football game for us. Kicker came through with a hell of a kick, even though he missed one a little bit earlier on in the day, and had the two final scores of the game to be able to win it for us. So proud of Jacob and everything that he's done. Proud of the way that our quarterback played until he got injured. Hopefully we'll get him back and we'll have an opportunity there. And then we had some other Georgia guys that really played extremely well, from A-backs in there blocking their butts off to the fullback Clay Harris from Norcross. So we've got a lot of things to build upon. We're doing fairly well. We played two really good football games last week. We just came out on the wrong end. This is the team that we thought we had. This is the team that I thought we had back in August. And I thought we finally put it all together today.
Coach, how big of a win is this for you? You said it was a big win program-wise. How big a win is it for you personally to be a Division I team like this?
Well, I tell you what, I was a part of, as the offensive coordinator, I was part of the South Carolina win, and I saw what kind of boost it gave us, not only in recruiting, but it also gave us a little bit of boost as when we walked into every single school, we had some sort of recognition about us. People knew our logo, and we had been without that for the last couple of years, even though we had played some pretty good teams, pretty close. I thought this was an excellent time for us to be able to get this kind of a win. As far as my tenure is concerned, I think this is what we needed as a program. It's definitely what I needed to be able to get this program going in the right direction for the rest of this season, because we've got our whole conference schedule to play after this.
How difficult was it to prepare for two quarterbacks, Oliver and Johnson, today, with their different styles?
Very difficult. One that throws it a little bit better, one that can certainly hurt you with his legs, and we knew being a triple option quarterback, you have to treat him as a triple option quarterback when he was recruited here to do. Tremendous football athlete. He did a great job out there. It was extremely difficult for our defense just to be able to contain those guys. They do have some really good running backs out there, as well as their quarterbacks that become running backs, and I know they're finding their way on offense a little bit. Offensive line-wise, I know they've kind of mixed and matched a little bit, but I thought our defense was able to hang in there and just hold them as much as we possibly could.
No, a lot of guys dropped out with injuries, maybe cramps and whatever. Any significant injuries today? I know Brandon went out earlier, but any significant injuries today?
Yeah, we've got to evaluate those. I don't think anything too significant. We had, one particular play out there where Phil went down. We've got to evaluate it and see what he's got right there. Phil Davis, our linebacker, who's also another Atlanta guy. Brandon went down a little bit with a knee. I think he should be okay. It looks like he was moving around all right. A little bit of treatment on that. I think we'll be in good shape, but hopefully we'll be back at 100% for next week for our Charleston Southern game.
Now, speaking of Charleston Southern, I know it's a big city rivalry with you guys. How important would it be to stress not having a letdown after having such a big win like you had today?
Absolutely, it's a good time to have a rivalry game for us. For a couple of years there, we had lost about 3 straight to them until last year. So we've got a little bit of catching up to do as well, and we just need to continue to do what we do. We're not a special, flashy football team. We've got to be the team that we know we can be, and know that we are the team that really showed up today.
How long has it been since y'all beat Georgia Tech? When was the last time? Never beat Georgia Tech? Because I knew as long as I've watched the Citadel, and I'm a big fan, y'all never beat them. So
not that I know.
This was great for me, I tell you.
We've had some pretty good ACC and SEC wins, but this was not one of them. And certainly this will rank up there with a lot of them.
Thanks.
What do you tell your kids when you play these type of games? When you're playing up on another level, what do you tell your kids coming into games like this?
I told them last night that we play these games to win. There's no other way to play these football games. We played Alabama. We gave it everything that we had last year. We play them to win. we want to make sure that they know that we're going to give them a football game when we put it on the schedule. It's on our schedule. I've got no responsibility for who's on that schedule. All I care about is that there's another team out there, and we're scheduled to play a football game. We're going to give them a football game out there to the best that we possibly can, and that's what we did today. So there's no other way to approach it for our guys other than, hey, we'll never be a program that's going to take our $500,000 check or whatever it may be, all right, and walk away and be happy with that. We're going to be a program that wants to win football games.
Cool.
Any other questions? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Brandon, you being a Georgia kid, how big of a win is this, especially being in Division I program such as that?
It's awesome to come back into Atlanta and get a win, especially with so many friends and family here. Like you said, it's a close game for me, and it's just a good win.
You went out in the fourth quarter. How are you feeling right now?
We'll be good, just like Coach said. Get a little treatment on it, I should be fine and back ready to go.
Yeah. How big of a win do you think is for this program in general? Because when you play up, it's always a big challenge. How big a win is it for to win for this program in general? Coach talked about fundraising and recognition. What's your take on that?
It's a huge win. I mean, everybody now will see our name, and it brings us a lot of recruiting, and it's just a big win for the team, and for us, it's our first win of the season to get the thing going.
Next week you have your city rival game with Charleston Southern. Do you worry about the letdown? How big of important is not to coach not having a letdown this week?
This team, we take every game, one game at a time. We have the 24-hour rule, so we'll celebrate this one for 24 hours and go back to work tomorrow. You can't really hang on wins, and it will set you back, so we're on to the next one.
Any other questions? For
Good.
Brandon?
We're good.
Brandon.
I want to say good job to Brian Murdoch stepping in. That's a man. That's just stepping in and making plays and winning us a game.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
We got one more. We got our kicker here.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Dave, you just want to talk a little bit about the game when you kick right there, kind of going through your mind, setting it up, and just executing.
My mindset has definitely changed throughout the past years. I had a pretty rough sophomore year, came back junior year, had a way better season, and I'm kind of just running off that junior season. And I try to stay kind of away from the game. Don't put my head in the game. Usually, like when I'd miss a kick like I did my first kick, I'd be a head case and I'd be all over the place, but I just kind of like threw it away, brushed it off to the side, and then when I made that next kick, I knew anything from there, like I was gonna hit.
Did you feel any pressure on that overtime kick, or was it just like normal to you?
No, this was pretty normal. The two past years, we played Clemson. I kicked a field goal against them. Same thing with Alabama. I kicked a field goal against them. And just being in that atmosphere and just it being so loud, like I was kind of used to it. And Coach West and Coach Thompson do a great job of putting me in the worst situations at practice, getting the whole team around me, throwing water on me, hats at me, paper at me, putting me in the worst possible situations, and just like working with me on that and just executing when it comes to game time.
How big of a win is this for the Citadel program in general? Coach and Brandon both talked about how, as far as booster donations, recognition, and name brand. How, in your opinion, how big is this win being a Division I program like Georgia Tech?
I think it's huge. I mean, not only for the football team, but the entire school. Now we'll be on social media, and people may say, who's the Citadel again, like last year. That was huge for the entire school, not only the football team. So it was huge.
That's good. I'm good.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.